I don't know where else to post this. I'm hoping someone, anyone, has seen something like this before. I'm terrified, and I think I'm in danger. It started yesterday evening. I was walking home from the metro station, taking a shortcut through a dimly lit side street, when I saw it. A black, featureless smartphone lying face down on the pavement. I picked it up. It was heavy, unnaturally so, and cold to the touch despite the humid evening air. There was no brand name, no logo, nothing. The front and back camera lenses were shattered, spiderweb cracks radiating from dark, empty holes. The body was seamless, like a solid piece of polished obsidian, with only a single, strange-looking charging port at the bottom. I tried the power button, but nothing happened. The screen remained dead. When I got home, I tried all my chargers, but none of them fit the bizarre port. With no way to charge it and no visible way to open it, there was no battery cover or seam. I gave up and left it on my desk, dismissing it as a strange piece of junk. I was torn from sleep later that night by music. It was loud, yet strangely calm. A distorted, melodic chime that seemed to fill the entire room, coming directly from my desk. My heart hammered against my ribs as I crept toward the source. It was the phone. The screen was on, bathing my desk in a sterile white glow. A single text message notification was displayed. Curiosity won out over fear. I unlocked it. It didn't require a password, and opened the message. It was from a contact simply labeled unknown. The message consisted of a single word, hello. I figured it was some elaborate prank. Maybe the owner had tracked it. I hesitated, then typed back a simple, hi. The reply was instantaneous. No typing bubbles, no delay. Just a new message popping up the very second I hit send. I opened it. Please help me. A cold dread washed over me. This felt wrong. I started to type, who is this? But before my thumb could hit the first letter, the screen went black. The music stopped. The room was plunged back into silence and darkness. I stood there for a long time, my own breathing loud in my ears, before finally retreating to bed, unable to sleep. About an hour later, the white glow returned, pulling my eyes back to the desk. The phone was on again. I rushed over, determined to reply, but the top of the screen now displayed a no signal message. The messaging app wouldn't open. Frustrated and unnerved, I decided to browse its files, hoping for a clue about the owner. There was only one file on the entire device, a video. The thumbnail was a corrupted mess of green and gray pixels. I tapped on it. The video was shaky, low resolution, filmed in a dark room. It showed a woman, her face pale and drawn. She was staring directly into the camera, her expression one of quiet terror. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then a thin trickle of dark red began to seep from the corner of her right eye. Another one started from her left. She didn't blink. The blood ran down her cheeks in dark trails as more began to well up, thick and viscous from her ears. Her mouth opened, and a scream tore through the phone's tiny speaker, a horrifying, digitally distorted shriek of pure agony. I yelled and tried to pause the video, but the on-screen button did nothing. The woman's silent, screaming face was frozen on the display, but the video kept playing. I tried to power it off, but the phone was unresponsive. In a full-blown panic, I grabbed a screwdriver from my kitchen drawer and tried to pry the back cover off to get to the battery. The metal tip scraped uselessly against the seamless case. It was like trying to open a solid block of stone. And then the scream stopped. The light from the phone began to dim. Everything around me, the light from my lamp, the glow of my alarm clock, the streetlights outside my window, It all just faded. The darkness that consumed my room was absolute, a heavy, suffocating blanket. I felt a wave of dizziness, and then nothing. I woke up with a gasp, light streaming through a crack in my curtains. I was on the floor next to my desk. I pushed myself up, my head pounding. What a nightmare, I muttered, my voice hoarse. Then I saw it. The phone was on my desk, screen off, looking as inert as it did when I first found it. It wasn't a dream. The wail of a siren cut through the morning air, growing closer. I looked out my window and saw a police car and an ambulance parked directly in front of my apartment building. My blood ran cold. I threw on a hoodie and ran outside. A small crowd had gathered. I saw the paramedics wheeling a stretcher out of the building entrance, a black body bag strapped to it. I grabbed the arm of a police officer who was taking statements. "What happened?" I asked, my voice trembling. He gave me a grim look. "A woman on the 3rd floor. We got an anonymous call. It's a bad one. Looks like she had some kind of massive aneurysm. The ME will have to confirm, but..." Her eyes and ears were bleeding a lot. I didn't hear anything else he said. I was already sprinting back to my room, my mind screaming. I snatched the phone from my desk, not caring who saw me, and ran to the large dumpster at the end of the block. I threw it in, buried it under bags of trash, and ran back home, locking the door behind me. I spent the rest of the day in a state of shock, but as evening approached, I started to feel a sliver of relief. It was over. The phone was gone. Just a few minutes ago, I was getting ready for bed, still on edge. I reached into the pocket of the hoodie I'd worn all day. I felt something hard, rectangular, and cold. I pulled it out. It was the phone. The screen was immaculate, the shattered camera lenses staring at me like dead eyes. It's sitting on my desk right now as I type this on my laptop. I haven't touched it. I've asked friends. I've searched online for anything like this, but I've found nothing. It's here, in my room. I'm scared to touch it, and I'm even more scared of what happens if I don't. What does it want from me? Please, if you know anything, help me.